Come find your yoga mat. We'll start in child's pose today. So take the knees a bit apart. Sit back on your heels. Reach your arms out in front. And the first thing is to let your upper body drape down. Relax the arms, the head, the whole torso. Take some breaths. Welcome yourself to the practice this time spent moving your body for you. Then change this pose to be more active. Crawl the fingers as far out as you can. Beyond just the fingertips, so lift the forearms, the elbows, the upper arm bones to the sky. Keep that hollowing underneath the armpits as you reach through from shoulders to the hips. As you fill up the outer body with bigger strength and hold. Let that come into an intention for how you'll carry yourself today. And then real simple, walk the hands over towards the right side. Enjoy the side body stretch. Walk the hands across the center on over to the second side. Enjoy the reach. And come back to the middle. Rise up to all fours. Hands under the shoulder, knees under the hips. Cat and cow. Here, nice and slow in the warm-up. Routine movement that we've seen again and again. Be present enough in the breath, in the movement this time, to notice how it's affecting the body, the mind. One more round of cat and cow. And then finding a neutral spine. Extend the right foot straight back behind you, but keep it on the ground, toes tucked on the floor. Kind of push through that heel until you find a nice little stretch through the calf. Look slightly forward. And then cross the right foot over to the left side and look over your left shoulder to see the leg. Shrug your right shoulder up towards your ear so you get a little bit more stretch through the side of the body. And then bring it back around to the center. And do the same on the second side. So it's just a nice, easy start. Tuck the left toes on the floor, extend the left leg, push through the heel to get the stretch in the calf. But then look a little bit forward to keep the spine long. Think navel lifted, little scoop of the tailbone towards the heel. And then cross the left leg over, and I'm like all the way outside of the mat, pretty big cross. And look over the right shoulder, but shrug the left ear, and the left shoulder towards the left ear. Little differences. And come back around to the center, all fours. Turn the hands out 90 degrees. Keep it there or keep going. Turn the hands 90 degrees more so they're 180 degrees around with the fingers faced towards the knees. We can rock a little bit or move in tiny little circles in the upper body here. Good stretch through the forearms and the wrist. And turn the hands back around. Slide the right foot forward to your lunge. Keep both hands to the inside. Lift the back knee up. And move here. Straighten and bend the front leg back and forth. Remembering all movements that are pretty familiar, just checking in, how does this one feel today? Okay. Stay with your bent knee lunge, hands on either side of the front foot now. And open it up into a twist. Take the right hand high. Lower the right hand, back knee, come around to all fours. And we'll switch over to our second side. Left foot comes forward. Hands on the inside, tuck the back toe, lift the knee. And then kind of sway back and forth. Feel free to stay in one spot longer or to keep the continuous movement. All right. Stay with the bent knee, hands on either side. And then add the twist, left hand high. This time, let's go to downward facing dog. Take both hands to the ground, step all the way back. Take a wide downward facing dog. Separate your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Push your hands actively down and forward to lift your hips up tall. Feel free to bend the knees or keep the legs straighter. Okay, good. Let's walk it up to the very front end of the yoga mat. And slowly roll yourself up to standing. Hands down by your side. Mountain pose. Keep the eyes opened or even close the eyes for a steady gaze inward for a couple of breaths. Phrase those warm-ups as preparation for the practice, and then here now begins. Lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And step back to plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Locust pose. Send the arms back, palms up. Lift everything that you can. As you lower it down, change to downward facing dog. You could come from low plank to high plank or through the knees. And then step the right foot forward to your low lunge. Hands to the waist, lift the torso, find your balance. And then arms up, take a breath. Let's add a twist at the top today. Look over your right side, send your right hand back and your left hand forward. And then both arms back up to the sky. Lower the hands to the inside of your right foot. Spin the back heel down. Down dog lunge. So we're going to put all of our lunges together in this sequence. From down dog lunge, walk the hands back in around the front foot, step back to plank. You choose, hold your plank here for several breaths or add a push-up. And then everyone, downward facing dog. And do these 3 lunges on the second side. So it's low lunge, left foot forward, to high lunge with the twist. Right hand forward, left hand back. Look over your left shoulder. Arms back up to neutral. And then down dog lunge. Hands go down, spin the back heel down so you get 2 flat feet to work with. And try walking the hands out further towards the front edge of the mat. Bring the hands back in around the front foot. Again, step back to plank and hold. From the toes or from the knees, you can add the push-up in there. And downward facing dog. Look forward to your hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. With this intention of fullness from the heart space, we go again. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold. We'll change just a little bit of this. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down. This time, interlace your hands behind your back and lift everything that you can up. And then change to downward facing dog. Start similar here in the lunges. Step the right foot forward, find that low lunge shape. And then you change it to the high lunge, arms to the sky. Hold it here. And then a big twisted lunge. Take left elbow to the outside of the right knee with the palms together. Tone and turn the abdomen. Try taking the hands to the center of the chest as you look to the side or up. For more stability, think about lifting the back leg to spread across the low back. Another option for more stability is back knee down. Okay, untwist. Set the hands down, step back to plank. You know the drill, you hold or push up. Down dog. And take it into the second side, left foot forward. Come up to your high lunge. Great. Hinge forward, take the twist. So I've got almost all of my weight into the front leg to help get into the twist. I slowly push some weight back into the back leg as I find the steadiness in the twist. Try doing the same. And then a slow release. Step back to plank. From toes or knees, add the push-up or don't. Into downward facing dog. Look forward to your hands. Try a jump. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. And palms together, center of the chest. Again, a few breaths. Take it in. We're going to move right along today into a longer standing pose series. Here from the top of the mat, place your right foot on the left leg like tree pose. Right foot goes onto the left leg, helping hand is fine for tree pose. Extend the arms up to the sky, palms can be open or together. And then take the arms like goddess pose, bend at the elbows so it looks like a goal post. Soft enough in the shoulders that you're not crunching down on yourself. And can you take that right knee now towards your right elbow? Try to lift the leg off of your other leg and touch. Woo! Elbow to knee. If you fall over, I did, no big deal. You just keep trying again. And then once that elbow is as high as it can be, once the knee is as high as it can be towards the elbow, hold on to the leg with the right hand. Okay, and then we change, step it all the way back to a high lunge. The right foot steps back behind you. Lift the arms to the sky, high lunge. And change to warrior two. Spin the back heel down, open up the hips and shoulders to the side. And gaze out over the left fingertips now. If you're looking directly at me in the live stream, I'm probably backwards from you. That's okay. Left knee bent, back leg straight. Side angle, elbow to knee, top arm palm down overhead. Look down at your left foot rather than up and try to reach the top arm a little bit further today. Half moon pose, balance, heel toe, the back foot in. So you've got some room. Step left fingertips down to the floor. Keeping the right arm all the way overhead. We're not taking it up to the sky today. Lift to half moon pose, balance on your left fingertips, left leg. And then turn to the front of the mat, both feet flat down against the mat. Standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Okay, second side. Hopefully the second side makes even more sense. Place the left foot onto the right leg so you're in tree pose. Left foot onto the right leg. Your second side. Lift the arms up. Find a steady gaze for tree pose, Vrikasana. And then you change to goddess arms. And try lifting the left knee to the left elbow. Kind of pulse and lift a little bit higher. And then use the arm to grab hold around the shin and pull it up even more. From here, step back into your lunge. In high lunge, turn the hips and shoulders to the side. Change to warrior two. Gaze out over the right fingertips now. That back side likes to come around towards the front. Try to keep pulling back and open through left hip and left shoulder. And stay with that as you go elbow to knee, top arm palm down overhead, side angle pose. And I'm saying give up a little bit of that opening in the chest and shoulders, perhaps to look down at the bottom foot and to keep that steady gaze. And then transition to half moon pose, heel toe, the back foot in to a shorter stance until you have the room to reach right hand down. Stand tall on your right foot as the left leg lifts into the sky. Few breaths there in half moon. And then change. 2 feet to the ground, 2 hands to the ground in Uttanasana. You're standing forward fold. It's facing the front end of your yoga mat. In standing forward fold, inhale, half lift. Fold over. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. And palms together, center of the chest. Okay, now take a wide stance on your mat, so face the long edge of the mat. To start with, feet parallel to one another. I'm going to try to mirror you here. So left hand, reach it to your right foot. And then take both hands towards the right foot and turn the toes out so they face the short side of your yoga mat. Anytime our hands are on the ground, I should have said this earlier in practice, they could be on the ground, on fingertips or flat palms, or under the height of a yoga block or a stack of books, making sure it's accessible to you. Okay, so we keep the right hand where it is and sweep the left arm up to the sky. Open up the chest and shoulders and hips for triangle pose here. Try to keep the arms, the legs as straight as they'll go. Feeling free to lift up taller, taller, taller along the right leg until you find your space. And bring the top hand back down to the ground so you're looking at that right foot, both hands towards the mat. Turn the feet back to parallel with one another. And walk on over to the second side. So it's like a wide-legged forward fold. Bring the torso towards the left leg. And as you set both hands down, turn the left toes out so they face towards the short side of the mat. Make sure you haven't gotten too broad with your stance. Nice long spine, full breath. And then take the right hand and pull up to the sky, open up. Keep crawling that bottom hand higher until you feel the back hip can lift and open. Nicely done. It's always a little bit tricky to find triangle from that bottom up approach. Both hands go down. Turn the feet again towards parallel to one another and enjoy your wide-legged forward fold. To make this more accessible, keep the hands further out in front of you with a long spine. Maybe even a bend in the knees. For those feeling good about a big, hearty stretch through the hamstrings, walk the hands closer to the line of the feet and send the head more down towards the ground. Okay, finally here for our standing pose. Turn the toes back out, goddess pose, bend the knees and walk the hands up to your thighs. Try to drop your tailbone more down rather than back, so bring the torso more upright. And take the hands out to that goddess goal pose shape. Tiny little movement, just barely pulsing up and down. Really good. Straighten the legs. Release the arms. And make your way back to the front end of the mat. Shake things out. Lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Okay, our legs are primed for even a little bit more in the lunges now. Let's keep the left foot forward and step your right foot back into the low lunge. Both hands to the inside. Your options are to stay here, fingertips, straight arms, look a little ahead. Go lower down to the palms, bend the elbows, maybe even all the way down to the forearms. Again, any height underneath the forearms or hands is fine. Do keep the left toes and the left knee pointed straight ahead for a moment. Oh, that's feeling quite low. If you get down there and feel a little stuck, just come back up a little bit. Different from day to day. What's the experience right now? Try to keep the back knee lifted, back leg straight, so really engaged there. And then do walk back up to the hands and swing the front leg around to the back for plank pose. Side plank, left hand a little in front of the line of the right hand. So you've got an angle from the left shoulder to the wrist, and then turn, pivot to the side. Stack the feet or step a foot forward. Right hand to the sky, side plank. Make your hips lift, 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 and squeeze those glutes to support you. If you feel the weight heaviest in your shoulder or wrist, try a different stance in the feet. Try lifting the hips higher until you can get the weight more in the legs. We come back to full plank. And then switch sides. Swing the right foot forward. Switch sides for the forearm lunge. So right foot forward, left foot back. Hands to the inside. And again, you've got fingertips with straight arms, flat palms with straight arms. Little bend in the elbows to start to bring your torso lower. Maybe even, as it's called, forearm lunge all the way down to the forearms. Again, for this version today, if possible, back knee up, legs straight. Look a little bit forward. Breathe. And then gain yourself all the way back up to the hands. Separate the hands more like plank pose. Swing the right foot back for full plank. Right hand just a little in front of the left in terms of length to get that wrist to shoulder at a diagonal and turn to the side. Stack the feet. Again, if you're feeling the weight in the shoulder or wrist and it's causing pain or difficulty, try setting even the bottom knee down. Find our way into what works. Hold your side plank for another breath. And then come back to full plank, 2 hands on the yoga mat. Toes or knees. Lower it flat down. Cobra pose, press down through the hands and the feet. Peel your chest up. You can add a little gaze over each side. A couple of breaths here into what feels nice. And push back to child's pose. Okay, setting up a lot like forearm lunge, but we'll take it a few more steps. Swing the right foot forward. Let's start on the right side this time. Twisted monkey. Take your weight into the left hand off to the side a little bit. Pull the left heel into your seat. So you get a quad stretch in the back leg. Turn the front toe, knee, hip out a little bit. So it's more along the inner thigh and that external rotation on the front leg. Okay, hold on to the back foot. Look over the top shoulder. All of those little add-ons, you take them or you leave them. Switch it on over to the second side. So if you know you're set up, just go right for it. So left foot forward, right foot back. Weight a little forward and out to the right hand. Add the quad stretch, pull the back heel in. Look over the top shoulder to make it easier to grab hold of that back foot with the left arm. The extra turnout on the front foot, front knee, front hip. And then as you release, we're plank pose again so that we can lower the flat down to the belly. Make use of that quad stretch into bow pose. Bend both knees. First option is feet together, knees apart. Reach the hands back without holding and lift. Second option, hold on to the feet and lift. Being present with what your bow pose is right now. Release, press it back to that heavy child's pose from the very beginning of class. So trying to just hang forearms, head, torso, heavy towards the mat. Fold it in. Give yourself a few breaths like that. Perhaps remembering how it felt as you stepped onto the mat and how much is similar, what's different now. Take it in. Okay, just a little bit more here. Have a seat with your legs stretched out in front of you. So change to a seated position. Legs out in front. Pull your right knee back towards your right shoulder. Remember when we did tree pose, standing, and we had those goddess arms, trying to pull the knee up towards the elbow? It's mostly like that here. So you're in a seated lunge. I'm going to turn my body just for sake of camera. And then take the right leg on top of the right shoulder. Try to hitch it up there. Place the hands down. As you place the hands down on either side of the legs, clamp the right heel, the right foot around the shoulder. I say shoulder, it's just upper arm bone. Anywhere above the elbow is going to work. And let's try to get the body off of the ground. It always sounds a little bit crazy. Try lifting the left heel up. Try putting the left heel down, but picking your butt up. And then if you're rocking a bit back and forth, like we did in that dynamic stretch at the beginning of our lunge, sometimes you can find that sweet spot to hold right in the center. If you get it for a breath, hooray, that's all you need, and release it. We call it practice because it is just that. It's the importance of coming and trying. Hold on to the left foot, pull the knee back, and again, think of that strong standing position that we took out of tree pose. Very good. And then try hooking the left knee and thigh on top of the left shoulder. The body can kind of curl down. I like to look down towards the ground as I'm trying to get that hook. And I'm still holding on left foot and right hand, and use that to kind of powerfully hook down. And then both hands, lift your butt, lift your heel. Maybe do both at the same time. Squeeze tight towards the midline and release. Give yourself a little shake in hands and legs. Soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana, knees out to the side and fold over the legs. As you come upright in the torso, look over your right leg and take a little twist. And then twist over the second leg. Bring the knees together. Come to kneeling on the mat, camel pose. Again, plenty of options here, and we're like progressively adding on, so you take it up to the add-ons that work. From kneeling, take the hands to the hips and squeeze the elbows in towards each other behind the back. I've got my thumbs like almost touching. And then first stage, big breath. Look up to where your wall and ceiling meet each other. We want to feel an openness from the chest, a little lift in the chin without dropping the head back. Hands can help push the hips a little bit forward. Squeeze the glutes so you feel some power there. Next stage, tuck the toes and reach one hand back to your heel. The hips will fall back, but then try to push forward. Other hand can reach around as well. Keep looking towards the ceiling or towards the wall and ceiling, two distinct different points. Never dropping the head back, keeping it open to the line of the chest. If this is still working, untuck the toes, go to flat feet. And then carefully bring the hands back to the low back and lift to neutral. Things always feel different to me after camel pose. Take it in. Maybe sit hips back to the heels or a little bit forward in the torso. All right, once you're feeling all right, come to lie down onto your back. So we're gonna lie down onto our back, soles of the feet to the mat. One more lunge shape here. So lunge, lying down onto our back. I usually will say half happy baby. So pull the right knee towards your right shoulder. Use your hand to hold on to the outside of the foot to take that lunge shape. Again, hearkening back to the tree pose with the leg lifted. And here you can extend the left leg for a little bit more. Today, let's take this into a reclined pigeon pose, meaning right foot swings over more towards the line of the left shoulder. Lift your head and shoulders off of the mat and try to cradle that right leg, either in the hands, forearms, or the crease of the elbows around the foot and knee. Release the whole thing down, 2 feet to the mat. Maybe a little sway side to side. In the legs, little windshield wipers. And then we'll give it a go on the second side. Take the left knee towards the chest, arm to the inside. Hold the outside of the foot in that half happy baby or reclined lunge shape. Keeping the sole of the foot on the ground is much like keeping the knee on the ground if we were flipped over in a regular lunge. Or the leg extended is like a straight leg, knee up. Yeah, so sort of seeing those different pictures in the mind. What works best while you're lying back. From here, we change to that reclined pigeon shape. So lift the head and shoulders, rock the left foot closer to the line of the right shoulder. I'm not saying they connect, they're far away. Hold on. Figure 4 shape in the left leg, try to turn out. Right leg can still be sole the foot on the floor or extended. You're taking that hand hold or forearm hold or crease of the elbows. And nice and slow, release. 2 feet to the mat. Little windshield wiper side to side. Last but not at all least, give yourself a good squeeze and recline child's pose. And then release to your still position. You're already on your back, feel free to stay there and just lie back. If you prefer a seat, sit on up. Do find as much release and relaxation here for just 2 minutes. To keep the mind away from the to-do list of your day, stay centered on the breath. All of the activity of practice is meant to help us be a little more released and easeful right here, right now. As ever, my friends, you're welcome to stay here a little bit longer. For those needing to move along, if you're lying back, come back to a seated position. Let's close this practice in the sound of Om, the sacred sound said to encompass the beginning, the middle, the end, and signal a new beginning. What do you wish to begin today? Empty out your breath. Take the breath in. I bow in deep gratitude to you, each other, this practice. Thank you. Namaste. All right, have a lovely day, everybody. Good to see you.
Thank you, Betsy.
You're welcome.